What's going on, guys? Hope
What's
everything
going
is
on, people?
well. You know, got a speaker tonight, so I want y'all to tune in. Just listen to the message. Hold on, let me turn this fan off. I know I didn't give y'all a heads up, but this is kind of like the best ones when we don't give a heads up, man. We just get it flowing tonight. Let's get this thing rocking tonight. Let's get this thing shaking tonight. Let's share this thing out throughout all your groups. If anybody is struggling tonight, try to get diversity on here. We touch on some key points of our lives and we get into the message of hope, man. And I just want to tell y'all, man, I thank you for viewing me every day, man, doing God's work. And I believe this is a God given platform. I just God gave me a vision. I just ran with it, man. Opened it up where people were judging me. Let's drop them clean dates. Let's get them clean dates going. Let's get this shared out. Share this throughout the groups. I'm gonna pray this brother in. If everybody coming on could drop some hope in for the comments for people out there sick and suffering, people that's out there just struggling with this whole pandemic. Man, listen, man. Just listen to the message tonight. We try to just give a message of hope, man. People's out there dying every single day, and people just don't get this thing, man. It's the disease. It don't go away. It don't sleep. It'll get you in your sleep. It'll creep up on you, and that's what I know with me, man. So if everybody could come together, I know it's 9 o'clock. We got a couple people on now. Then get this thing shared out, everybody. Share this thing out. Let's drop it back real quick. I'm gonna pray you in, brother. I'm gonna let you go ahead and take the floor. All right, hold on. Lord Almighty God, I just want you to place hands on this brother right now to share a clear-cut message of recovery and just touch one person's heart that's sick and suffering and place hands on the people that struggle with this pandemic that's out there struggling, hopeless, feeling down and out. That for the addicts, first and foremost, they're struggling on the street trying to find a new way of life, but they're so sick and suffering that they don't know where the new way of life is. And just place hands on my brother, allow him to, if he struggles with any low self-worth, any lack of confidence, any low self-esteem, that you just remove that off him and place a positive message of honesty and recovery, Lord God, and just be with him and place hands on him and just share with him. Amen.
Amen.
Inspirational free Go ahead, baby. Go ahead. Let them know who you is, man.
Oh man, thank you. My name is Rennie, and I'm a grateful recovering addict. First, I'd like to say, thank you for my high power for allowing me another day clean and sober, another day where I'm not in the 6x9 cell, and I'm healthy, and I have all my health and fortitude to be able to spread the message of recovery. I'd like to thank Carl for allowing me to have this opportunity to share my spirit, strength, and hope with you. Again, my name is Rennie. I'm from the Open Arms area of upstate New York. I got 2 years and 4 months clean. I have a sponsor who has a sponsor. I have a home group, which is in Newburgh, New York, where we meet every Thursday at 7 o'clock. It's called Recovery on the River. And this has been a great journey for me. My family's originally from Queens, New York. We moved upstate New York. I was about 14, 15. And by the time I moved up here, I was already totally engulfed into what I thought was the right way to live. But growing up in Queens, New York, I had developed a behavior pattern which was attracted to everything that was negative. I don't know where um, that switch of like attracted to everything that was negative came from, but from a young age, even before I got introduced to drugs and alcohol, I had a problem with fitting in. So I knew that as I got older, my first drug of choice was attention. So anywhere I was able to get attention from was what I was going to do. And at a young age, get the most attention, you either had to be the most craziest person to do the outlandish stuff, you had to misbehave, you had to be the class clown, you had to do everything that basically was going to bring you some type of negative attention and made you stand out from the crowd. So once I got a taste of that, that was like my first drug. So I was that kid in school that was always in trouble, always had my parents coming up to the school, getting suspended. This is all elementary school, you know, had nothing to do with drugs or nothing. Just already I had a discomfort of being who I was. And as time went on, you know, my circle started to change, started to get more in around people who were more wiser than me in doing the wrong thing. So those influences got a lot more deeper where I started to get involved with street activity. And you know, once I got a taste of that, I fell in love. Between that, the music, just the whole culture of being in the street, it engulfed me. You know what I'm saying? And in that culture, it teaches you that doing the wrong thing is right, and everything that's outside of that is wrong. So everything my parents told me, because I was blessed to have two living parents, that I still do have this to this day. And you know, I had everything I was supposed to have coming up as a kid, and you know, I never had any excuses to go navigate to the street. But you know, at that time and that age, that wasn't appealing to me. You know, I came up in a time where being smart was not the cool thing to be. You know what I'm saying? To get good grades in school, you was a nerd, and you wasn't getting the prettiest girl in class. You know what I mean? You wasn't the kid that was popular. And I was one of the most popular kids in school. I was always in that group of the most popular, and that got me nowhere. But eventually, you know, my first ticket to the state penitentiary. So, you know, my parents kind of seen by third grade I was already on the wrong track. I got left back from class, third grade, seventh grade. So, you know, my parents was already invested in getting me and my sister a better way of life. So we moved from Queens, New York, and we moved upstate New York, which is suburban area. And again, I had a great opportunity to kind of like shift my pattern. And unfortunately, I didn't take advantage of it. I just found the crowd, which was harder to find in that suburban area, but they out there. So eventually I was able to find that crowd that was doing everything that I was interested in doing. And that's what really I got really into the drugs. You know, upstate, the kids weren't really into outside being creatively mischief. They was getting high. You know what I mean? They was doing things that always surrounded around drugs, and I quickly adapted to that lifestyle. And you know, before you know it, I was just doing nothing but smoking weed, drinking every day. That was just the consistent behavior. And eventually, I started to sell drugs, and then I thought that you know, I found my gold mine because now I had a reason to be out besides just, you know, it was hard to continue that lifestyle with no money.
Yeah.
So eventually, you know, my parents put their foot down. They said, well, you can continue doing this. You can't do this in this house. You have to go about your business. And, you know, at that age, I was 15, 16, smelling my own piss. I thought life was, you know, a video game, basically. I just thought every day was a game. So I went out to the streets and I found the people that was going to accommodate that those decisions I was making because they was making the same ones. You know, I met a bunch of kids that was out there just getting money, and before you know it, that freedom became a prison that I had no idea I was putting myself in. And at first, I was really unsuccessful. Couldn't really put no money together, just living day to day, surviving. And then I caught a bid on Rikers Island, did some time there, came home, and I caught my first state bid. Now, don't blame nobody, but the system is designed this way. I was 17, turning 18, and you know, I think I kind of had an idea where I wanted to go, and I could have. I feel like at that pinpoint, if I could have had some type of orderly direction, I might have been able to grasp it. Don't know how long I would have held on to it, but you know, the system is set up to say I was just a number, so they sent me upstate for 3 to 9 years. And in that 3 to 9 years is where I learned to be a really successful drug dealer. I had that energy that you know I attracted the people who knew what to tell me, to get me schooled, to become home and become a real you know menace to society. And that's what happened. I came home off that first bid, and I never looked back. You know what I mean? I started selling drugs, and I was like engulfed in that culture and that lifestyle because now I could be financially independent. And that independence built up a false sense of who I was.
Mm.
So now that false sense of who I was really caused me to become a person. I became lost. I started to create a false sense of confidence, a false sense of ego, pride, and I grew a dissatisfaction for everything that was normal. So now I built a lifestyle of normalcy that's not really normal. So I became antisocial. I learned antisocial is not being it's not isolating from people, but being antisocial means you become social in a bubble, and everything outside that bubble you become isolated from. So now I was only social to other dealers and addicts, and everybody outside that that's living life like they're supposed to and productively. Those are the people who I'm not associating with. We don't have nothing in common, and I lived that life for a long time. Right now I'm 40 years old, and I came off my first bid. I was about 20, or my early 20s, about 21, 22. So I lived that way for about till I was about 35 years old. And that was a long time. So that's been a long time me being lost about who I was. And it took me to go to prison. I got 3 state bids in. In between those 3 state bids, I probably got like 4 or 5 violations. So that's a lot of time in and out the penitentiary. And 2000 and was it 16? I caught a violation, and that was the last time that broke it to me. Fortunately, I got 2 parents that are in Narcotics Anonymous. Both of them are in their 30s. They're probably got 33 years, 32 years clean. So I've been exposed to Narcotics Anonymous for a very long time, and I was always convinced that I wasn't an addict because my bottoms wasn't consistent to the bottoms that I was hearing. Every time I did take a chance to go into a room or go to a meeting and listen, I was doing a lot of comparing. And because of those comparisons, I kind of like just isolated myself from the feelings that I could have related to. So I was never open enough to actually grasp the message of recovery. So I was always just in there with the wrong motives. And those behaviors just got me into using. And then I was trying to recover, but still keep myself attached to the same relationships. So I was still trying to keep the same people I was shuffling and diving with, and didn't get clean, and then wonder why it wasn't mixing. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to give recovery a chance by the time I was like maybe like I said like 35. I was like really like trying to do both and just trying to do things my own way, and it wasn't working until that last time I caught that last violation, because I would get a lot of good things started, and then wonder why eventually they would always end up crumbling down. Remember, I was only smoking weed. I was just popping e-pills. I'm doing the same thing everybody else is doing, socially getting high, and but for some reason I couldn't continue that. Like if I did it, it always ended up taking me to prison. So I had to come to grips that, first of all, that I was a recovering addict. And once I got once I got able to surrender, the change that came upon my life was so rapid that it scared me. And it allowed me to actually look at myself and say and see some truths in it. And it was really like rewarding. It was really like self-rewarding to know that like I wasn't like nothing was wrong with me. That all I had to do was, for one, is take the suggestions, and that it was okay to be an addict, and that there was a place that I could go to get help. And once I started to apply those simple principles, after a while things started to make sense to me. And then the great thing happened, and I was able to surrender. And once that happened, it was like everything started to fall in place. And the thing that happened that was funny, it was like I didn't even have to like go out my way. It wasn't like force. It was like all I had to do was just take my time and just do the next right thing, and everything fell in place. The right job fell in place. Like transportation fell in place. I was able to finally get off parole. I was able to finally complete the outpatient program. I fixed my license. I got my car. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that I always said that I wanted to do, I began to do and complete and finish. And things started to really take a toll on me. And then I was honestly able to put some clean time together where I've got 6 months. 6 months turned into a year. And like this couple months ago, I celebrated 2 years clean. And now I got 28 months right now. And just only thankful to this program, Narcotics Anonymous, and the fellowship. Now, like the fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous has been so good to me because it allowed me to do things that I felt like I couldn't do on my own. And the fellowship was either giving me the information by listening to somebody else share or putting me in a position to where I was able to ask for help and get the information I needed to get me to the next step. And that's the fellowship. And like I'm still working on my steps. I'm not rushing, even though me and my sponsor have been on trying to take advantage of this quarantine and do the FaceTime to get me caught up further on my step process. It's like living the step process is just like has been a phenomenal process for me where I can actually like sit back and like understand like what it means to surrender. Like for example, I just had back surgery and now we all quarantined due to this situation. And like I have through Narcotics Anonymous, my obsession to use has been lifted. I have no obsession to use. It's gone. Thank
Yeah.
God that I do what I got to do every day to keep it that way. And but my surrendering process is still something I have to practice every day. So now I just got out of surgery March 23rd, and I went to the doctor just this ninth, and the doctor told me that um not to work out for another 2 weeks, but I'm starting to feel good. But I have to surrender to the fact that I'm not a doctor, and despite how good I might feel and
Yeah.
how urgently I want to work out because that's who I am. I'm a personal trainer, and I'm just a gym fanatic. I'm one of them guys that sleep, eat, and sleep the gym, and that's become who I am now. Now I'm I'm so eager to work out because that's also been my therapy. Is I've had to consciously surrender throughout the day and pray because I don't want to hurt myself, but I'm so eager to do something. You know what I'm saying? And like the thing is, the surrender process moves in different areas of my life that I have to practice. I don't want to overeat. I've been good that because I've been in the house as much as we all are. I'm not indulging in like satisfying the outside void with food. Uh, Trying to get company in my crib that I know might be unhealthy or who I wouldn't usually give 5 minutes of attention to, but because I'm bored and I might be constantly right now in like a emotional void, I might want to fill it with something. I don't need to fill it with food, sex, or people, places, and things. Like that's where I'm at today. Is just like trying to keep myself spiritually centered as many times as possible. Because sometimes my disease tell me I might need something that I don't need,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying. So I gotta constantly, it's like exercise. I gotta constantly keep my disease in check. And that's where I'm at today. And like the recovery process is great because it gets me an opportunity to make me a better person. Like in this process, like I said, I got two recovering addicts as parents, and with 30 years of recovery. So for them to see me now celebrate 2 years has been able to pull my family together in a unit that we have never been able to have before. So like the unit we have now is just so good to be able to be present as a son for my mother and father, an uncle for my niece, a brother for my sister. Like these are the rewards that I can't ever give back that I only can thank because of Narcotics Anonymous. Um, all the material things that come are great. Like I got a great job because of Narcotics Anonymous, where I'm a supervisor at Polo Ralph Lauren. I'm about to graduate in June and get my KSAC. Like these are things I would have never fathomed possible in my addiction, man. Like I thought I was going to ride or die till the wheels fall off. Like my weekly goal was re-up twice in a week, 50 grams, 50 grams. That was it. You know what I'm saying? And that was me being smart instead of going down with the 100 because that's an A1 felony. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
was the concept of my mentality, was trying to find ways and means to do it smarter than the last person. Like now, like it brings me satisfaction to be able to share my spirit, strength, and hope I touch somebody in a way for them to be like, you know what? If he did it, I could do it. Cause I ain't never thought I could do this, man. I never thought I was not gonna smoke weed. I never thought I was not gonna pop e-pills. My addiction took me to the place where, like I said, I am a person that is highly geared on what other people thought of me. So
Yeah.
my image and my ego was everything to me. So,
Absolutely.
and when it came to the point where I found myself in a hotel with girls, and I was also partaking in like the activities that I was feeding them, trying to enhance the situation. And then when the girls left, I was still sniffing. I knew like this is different. I have an issue that I'm hiding. Like I'm one of them dudes that try to keep it in the closet and like was ashamed to share it because of the ego that I had. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't let none of my dealing friends know these are the things I was doing because they would look at me as less than. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, it took me to be able to spend some time in Narcotics Anonymous to see, like, look, I'm just like everybody else. You know what I mean? And nobody can take my seat from me because I know where my addiction took me. It always takes me to a 6x9 jail cell, and it takes me to a place that where in the bottom of my stomach that I didn't like who I was. And I was always finding ways and means to make myself feel better. Like I needed that false sense of power over people to make me feel like I was somebody. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I wasn't doing nothing but breaking up people's homes, having them like, reduce themselves to like animal instinct behavior, and then I fed off of that. And to me that's a coward. You know what I mean? I felt like I was always taking the easy way out instead of doing. And it's always funny too because I would come home from prison, and each time I would come home from prison with sincere intentions to do the right thing. The whole time I'm in there, I'm trying to find ways and means to do it the right way. I'm going to get a job. I want to be the square because I'm like, damn, I got another 2.5 year bid. I got another 2 year bid. And the person that was working, and let's just say it was McDonald's, he's been out of McDonald's for 2 years now, while I've been in here making 15 cents a day. Now that's attractive to me because I'm making 15 cents a day and they still out in the street making money, home with their family, going home every night. And I say that I'm willing to do that, to be home and be free. And then I get home and then I try to do that amongst the same people, places, and things, and it never worked. When I came home this time and I chose the path of more resistance and it was harder, I went to the halfway house outside of the comfort zone of my parents' house where I usually come home and start from scratch and reap the benefits of being in their house. I went to the halfway house and I started from scratch and I worked at uh dish rooms. I worked outside at Target pushing carts. Like I put in the work, man, that when finally an opportunity came, I was able to get in position. And that's something that my sponsor tells me repeatedly is you put yourself in position when the right opportunity arises, you'll be right there. Your higher power is going to do that for you. You don't even got to do it. All you got to do is just put yourself in position. Your higher power take care of the rest. And I was able to get a job at Polo as a part-time associate. Before you know it, I took that job and I ran with it because I knew what opportunities arose in there. Before you know it, now I'm a supervisor in the stockroom. You know what I mean? Working that as I about to obtain my KSAC in a month and a half. Like these are the things that I would never thought possible, man. So I I just tell anybody out there, any newcomer, that listen, I started with one day, and before that one day, I started with hours, and all I did was just like follow the suggestions, and I just kept showing up. And it wasn't easy at first. I just walked to every meeting I could. I used any motivation that kept me going, even if I was looking for the next girl. At that time, at that mentality, I was just looking for a hostage. But it kept me going to the meetings at first. It kept me going to the meetings until I was able to go there with the right motivation and the right motives. And I was on there with an open mind and was able to get the information I needed to stay clean. And then what really got me after my first year was like that was to me. After that, then now like I just like to see other people, progress. I like to see parts of people when they come in. and then they start to come to meetings, and then they get a hold of the message, and you start seeing the change that happens in their life. That's a real rewarding feeling that lets me see that Narcotics Anonymous is working. And, I love it. I'm glad to be a part of it. And I'm just glad to be here tonight to be able to share my story and strength and hope. I hope what I said was able to resonate with somebody's spirit. And I just love this opportunity to be able to give service. This helps me stay clean. I mean, this is not an I program, this is a we program. And my name is Rennie, man. Thank you for letting me share.
Yeah, I can definitely identify with what you were saying. Like I would make these um fixed ideas. You know what I mean? I had this plan set up when I'm about to hit the street. So I'm gonna accumulate some money in my account. I'm going to work and I'm like justifying, rationalizing like what I'm gonna do with the money, right? So when I get out, I'm gonna try to get a girl like she's gonna fix me, but like in the
Mm,
long time, in the meantime, like the drugs and the like fixed idea, like already had me set up for like getting that next one. It already had me locked in the grips of like obsession and compulsion, like trying to get the next one, like fixing this idea in your head, sitting in this cell. You're sitting in the cell and you're like trying to come up with this idea, like I'm going to get out, I'm going to get a car,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to get a nice house, and it never worked for me, brother.
And we write it all out. We have all the numbers together.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We did it. We doing something, right? But the
Hmm.
drug already had us locked and loaded, man. Because the obsession, money is an obsession. Like I don't know about you, man. I got clean, man. I start going nutty with shoes and all that.
Yep.
Buying shoes, going to meetings. I was the guy that dressed up the outside, and I'm cool because I always share it on here. That's why it's a raw and uncut platform. I was the guy, man, just coming in for months, man. Like, maybe I'll get a girl and we get together, but the work needed to be applied, like, with action and application and understanding
Hmm.
of like how this like disease, um, it works, man, and it manifests. It's not even after the drug shit. Different symptoms you showing up, man. You be like, what? I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and you like, why do I keep doing this shit? Insanity, man.
Insanity.
Yeah, it just keeps on chasing. I mean, we had a good bit of people on, man. People definitely the way I look at things now, man, is um like damn, how I could not just catch on to what I was doing and like a long time ago, bro. Why I could
Long
not
time
just,
ago.
but we wouldn't have a
Because we needed what we needed to be where we at
yeah. But you don't ever think like that?
all the time. Like sometimes I think about what my dad used to tell me, and like they used to be so enabling. Like they was like, damn, he's making money. And my dad be like, yo, why don't you get a job though? Like you in the music, you got the hustle going on, but you need a job because you be out in the street way too much. Like only one thing's gonna happen when you're doing this like this. It's not gonna happen. Get a job, man. Like put some of that money away, but get a job. And I would never listen. You know what I'm saying? And that just let me know like I was so caught up in the grips, like the disease had me wired. There's some successful hustlers out there
Yeah,
who had the fortitude of knowing how to work, get some little money on the side, get to the point where they get their goals set and get out. I'm not that guy. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not that guy either,
I'm not
brother.
that guy. I can't do it. You know what I mean? I don't know how to do it. I'm an addict in all my affairs. So me in that lifestyle will never make it. You know what I
So
mean?
what are some of the things, right, that that you struggle with today?
Like you said, man. I mean, I spoke a little bit on it, like right now, like and then today, like just staying still.
Yeah,
I'm a type of person that's up early. I'm
on the
active,
go.
very active. I like to work. My new hustle is my personal trainer, so I'm always in the gym. I'm always shaking and moving. I'm always online promoting myself, and like I still got ties with people in the music industry. So sometimes they ask me to help them do certain things in the studio, or like, and it's just like a constant shake and move. And I never lost that drive. So to have a surgery and then not like constantly be like,
Yeah,
yo, sit down,
that was God.
relax. You know what I mean? Stay put. Like I want to do push-ups right now. Like when I got the call today, like what are you doing at 9 o'clock? My instinct on today, I was gonna do like 100 push-ups, and then chill for 15 minutes, do another 100. Try to do 300 lightly, you know what I mean? And like I said, no, you know what I mean? Like I have to just relax, do what I gotta do, and
Yeah.
like you say,
Even if
like
you worked out, man, and you're in
yo, it's
shape, I
I
used to be,
fiend.
man, and I just got this book, Your Body is Your Gym, Peter Paulson. So I'm about to get right back into it where I left
Hmm.
off. So now I got the right food on the street. I just, like you said, man, the disease manifests in different areas, eating like crazy.
Eating like
When I got
crazy,
out
just
the city,
shopping.
yeah, when I got out the city mission, I stopped working out, man. Got in a relationship, just got lazy as shit, man. And like when I worked out, I felt good, man. I
You
really
feel
felt
good, though.
way good. You
It
feel
released the endorphins in your brain.
Yeah, man, it's really good for you. Plus, with this coronavirus, shit, if you ain't in shape, the way I'm seeing things, man, that shit's taking you right out, man. If you ain't got a strong immune system or if you got some health problems, it's taking you out, man. A lot of
Yeah,
predecessors died to this thing.
I know a lot
Absolutely.
of people.
Yeah,
It's
all over
scary.
America, man. It's a pandemic, and this shit ain't to be taken lightly. Like if you're struggling and you're new to this page and you're struggling with drugs and you're struggling with like anything, man, watching pornos or anything, reach out. We love you. For
You
real.
all in
I'm
there.
a guy that, you know what I mean? I don't sugarcoat shit. I'm a
Yo,
guy, man, in
you want
relationship.
to hear something funny, right?
But
So, like I said, I work at Polo right now. Right now, I'm on disability. Plus the store closed anyway because of the pandemic. So I've been working there. This August coming will make 2 years. So, I had asked them because we get a code that we have to put in because when we cash out when we go shopping, we
yeah,
only could be rung out with a manager has to ring us up.
yeah,
So the manager has to put in our punch-in number on every transaction, so our transactions are recorded. So I asked him one day, I said, "Yo, how much money I spent since I've been working here?" And listen, I had to catch myself, man. When they told me I spent about 8,300 on clothes, bro. Now, mind you, all of it might not have been mine. It might have been my parents, family members I bought stuff for, but still, 8,300 in a year.
that's a lot.
That's a lot, brother. See,
Yeah,
that was something I had to look at, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
you gotta
I
put
gotta
those in
relax.
work.
Gotta relax. You know what I'm
You gotta
saying? So,
chill. But something I noticed about me, man, like, this is a continuing progressive illness.
yeah,
I mean,
it
this
is.
disease, it just progresses and manifests in different areas of your life, man. And the defects, they don't go away.
Nope.
Shit, you think so? You might think they go away, and a new one pop up. What I noticed about coming up on 2 years clean, but not knowing the program since '05, right? What I noticed, but like what I noticed about me is like if I work on something, something else pop up. I don't know if you can identify with that.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
trying to cover this area, make sure this area, rewire this area, and then something just pop loose or something. You like,
Pop right
oh
loose.
man, I just tried to fix this area, then another area. It's just what it is, man. It's life. It's what I tell people. To me now, man, I look like I was a I don't know, man. My man always said this in the streets and shit, and he always said like, the disease of addiction is like kind of like you're weak minded shit, but it takes over your mind and shit. And we're like weak minded. That's what I'm not making no excuses why I like use drugs. Now I got a story behind it to touch people's lives, but I look at it like away from me, like I didn't know that it was going to get like this when I picked that shit up. I seen my parents, but I didn't like. I wanted to experiment and get the feelings. And once I got the feelings, after so long, I didn't like that shit no more because I was so caught up in the grips of active addiction, man. I couldn't stop. I was using against my will, man, eating subs out of Subway's dumpsters, dog. For real. It got to the nitty gritty, bro. Where it was like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can relate to that though. It got you do it. Start. It had you saying yeah when you really in your heart wanted to say no. and like a lot of people like I was fortunate enough that my bottom didn't include me smoking crack cocaine. It
Yeah.
didn't include me with shooting up dope. The furthest my addiction got me was I was sniffing cocaine, taking a lot of Molly, E pills. I was popping like I was popping pills back when we had Opanas,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was dealing with, and a lot of that was always surrounded around satisfying a female. You know what I'm saying? I remember times where I used to front. I was such a people pleaser. Like it was always deep rooted in who I thought I was and what I had to do to satisfy the next person, just to
Yeah.
either the full and the void. I used to crush up the e pills and put them in a bill and act like I was sniffing because they were sniffing cocaine. I didn't want them to feel like I wasn't getting high because I noticed like if I let the girls get high and they noticed I wasn't getting high, they used to feel kind of funny. So I didn't want them to feel that way because I wanted to enjoy the night. And like just being able to say no was an issue to me, man. I was too scared of what the other person was gonna say, man. I remember times where I would come home and hang out with dealers, and I would say I wasn't dealing, and still ride with them to go re up. What the hell am I doing in a car with a person going to re up, and I'm not even involved?
Yeah.
Just to be a part of something,
Just to be seen.
just to be seen, bro, to be
Yeah, I
a
could
part
identify
of.
with that, dude.
Know what I mean?
I
Like
didn't
that.
start sniffing that shit. Yeah, I didn't start sniffing that them Mollies and shit the back in the day. Or them E pills. I remember them E pills. And then once I did that, man, I remember one time I got locked to a bed, man. I was chilling with these people. They locked me to a bed, man. They thought it was funny and shit. And then I
Mm,
turned into a savage, man. Started dealing with them dudes. You know, when they locked me to a bed, they used to beat on me with pistols. And then one day, there was my man was like, he was like, "Yo, you doing that to him? He gonna turn into a savage. He gonna get all your asses." And that's
gonna
what I
black
did.
right out
Turned
and
into a
give them right
savage,
what they was looking for.
huh?
Yep.
But
Black
yeah,
out and wind up giving to them.
I used to hang with these dudes, like you're saying, people pleasing. So I didn't know how to be loved. You know what I mean? I was looking for
Hmm.
love to be loved, and then little bit they knowing they was turning me to a monster. And they did that. And the one day I just, 16, I just
Snap.
started busting their ass, man. It was fuck
And
that. You ain't putting your hands on me no more. And that,
they never seen it coming.
nah, no, never seen it come. But I grew up in the streets of Baltimore, so you can only imagine what I
Hmm.
seen, man. It's not a game down there. It's like New York,
Yeah, I
It's
heard. I
Baltimore is
definitely
not the
heard.
stop that you want to go if you from out of town.
Nope.
Anyway,
I heard it. I heard they
anyway,
had a big Muslim community out there
yeah,
too.
you do, brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's down
I
there.
seen a I seen a um I seen what was I at? I was in one of those jail pre programs. I think I was in a case act and they show Omar and Pete. You ever see that?
Yeah.
The two Muslim brothers from Baltimore, and they just robbed the
Yeah, yes,
street.
sir. You watched that?
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
seen, yo, that was one of the ones that actually hit home with me. Like, I was like, damn, I could end up that guy doing 10. You know what I'm saying? Just the
Yeah.
beginning when they were doing 10 years, I was like, God, I mean, I do my little twos and a halves, and I get out. 17 months here, 17 months there, but I
Matter of
never had to
fact,
do a
you know
stretch.
what
Thank
was
God.
crazy? One of my on this run, I didn't know about that till like 2 years ago. One of my drug counselors, he said, "Yo, you ain't seen this in Baltimore and shit." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And Omar and Pete, man, I remember
That
watching
was
that on
real, man.
YouTube, man, and that's some real life stuff. And
Real
all them
life.
indictments and stuff that happened in the city. And Peanut, I ain't gonna talk too much of that, but I know a lot of stuff, man, and I just kind of
Yeah.
keep that shit to myself. And
Yep. That really touched home to
with
me,
some
man.
some dudes that the wire's real. It's the real deal. I know a guy, man, that does these live streams and he gets people to get out of jail and they're gangbangers, tell their story. It's called
Uh,
3 and 1.
3 and 1,
3 and 1.
23 and 1.
Yeah, it's called 22. You seen it on YouTube?
No, I never seen it, but
I
I'll
got
be
a guy
watching a lot of
coming up
that
to
now.
tell a story soon. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going to get up on here. He's Frankie Rodriguez. He's from Philly. He was on the show, but I watched him. He got like a 400,000 following, dude.
Wow.
People all over the world. You know, he gets paid for that. You get paid once you get so many followers, but I'm not going to charge nobody. I got a YouTube, but I just want to help people, brother. I just want to identify, get people help. And I've sent 100 some people to treatment, but I ain't get $1. I ain't get a nickel because this ain't what I do it for. You know, if God got something planned for me one day, well, but all on work programs, and I just try to say it's 12-step fellowship. You might get a little heat. People say NA or whatever, stay in their lane. But, you know, people always, what I noticed, somebody always got something to say because they ain't comfortable with themselves. How about that? That's what I noticed, man. Them defects are how you running rampant.
Yeah.
You know, I was taught for a long time ago, brother, to mind my business. And that's how I survived in the streets, in the trenches, ripping and running, you know, minding my business, man.
Usually when you minding your business, you don't have time to mind nobody else's. You know?
Absolutely. But it seems like, man, you got a good head on your shoulders, brother. I wish the best for you, man.
Likewise,
you know,
man.
we get to today to carry the message because we didn't get to carry the message when we was out there using. We had no message.
None. It
Yeah,
was pollution. It was pollution.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And I mean, I really appreciate these opportunities and like the Zoom thing right now. I'm like thankful that because of that we able to, you know, still collaborate and make meetings. And now it's the new thing. Like you can go anywhere across the world now, find a Zoom meeting and tap in. You know what I'm saying? So like you say, anybody that's new, my name is Rennie C. The last name is Charles. I'm on Facebook. If you need a Zoom meeting, just
I
get
got a
online.
whole bunch of them.
Yeah, just stay logged in, man,
Stay connected.
and reach out, stay connected, because the fellowship helps so much to get through the day. You know what I mean? You're not by yourself. Just remember that.
All right, brother. You have a blessed night. Thank you, man.
You too, man. Stay in contact with me, brother.
All right, brother. Man, that was a good live stream. What's up, baby? Man, I'm a blessed man. I'm grateful for God's grace and God's mercy that I'm still here today. I'm a blessed man, and God wants everybody to make money. He wants people to lift people up. If you're struggling in active addiction right now, just know like it's your love. Don't we care about you? You are a blessed man, and we're going to pray people out. You are amazing. I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you so much. Lord Almighty God, just place hands on people who are struggling with this coronavirus, Lord. Just bless me with a job, Lord. Pour the blessings out on me. I'm a blessed man. And send prayers to the people to be blessed, Lord God, and nourished. And just place healing hands on them. Guide them through any situation, any struggles that they're going through. That this coronavirus shall pass. Amen. Love y'all.